Well, hello and welcome to Storehouse TV. I am very excited today. Back to our Main Street Success Series interviews today. We have some very special guests, Aaron and Leslie Beckley with Advanced Gases and Equipment. They are located in West Sacramento, and they are a growing, local, fantastic small business. Known them for many years. I'm very excited to interview them today because I know we're going to get a lot of golden nuggets learning about their journey. If you've ever wanted to sit down and learn from some entrepreneurs, people who built things from the ground up, this is the place to be. And we're going to learn about that today. So Aaron and Leslie, we'll start with just the first question. Tell me a little bit about how your company got started.
That's you.
So we had a welding supply business since 1993.
Okay.
And then we grew it, sold it, and then came back again and started a business. We started a business with some partners in 2008. I came down in 2011, and this is our second business. So basically, we've been doing this off and on for probably 30 plus years. Leslie and I worked together for that same amount of time, believe it or not. And it's been a successful business, and it's been a good industry to be in, similar to carpentry, electrical, and things of that nature.
Got it. Well, have been doing this for 30 years, you must enjoy it on some level. Tell me about some of the things that you find most enjoyable or rewarding.
When I started in the late 80s, early 90s, the welding industry in the state of California was slowly starting to deplete. Some of the major businesses, some of the bigger players were just moving out, and you had to diversify. So what we did was we diversified into the wine industry. And so now that's a growing business in the state of California, obviously wineries, breweries. And I'll even go as far to say we don't have a lot of it, but the cannabis industry is now marked for over $1 trillion.
Wow.
And it's big business now. So we don't do very much of that.
Yeah.
We mostly concentrate on breweries, wineries, and welding supplies. Because like I say, state of California is so diverse on different areas of business that they allow in the state.
Yeah. What is it about the industry specifically that you like or that drew you in?
The wineries.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
We like to give back to those that give to us. So that makes it fun. We get out and get to meet some of them on the weekends, and the breweries too. They have a lot of them that have food, the food trucks and just that serve food there. The breweries have great food. That makes it fun for me. I just work in the office. It's not that exciting for me, but I get to reap some of the benefits of who we serve, and we like to give back to them.
Learning new things. I think in the 30 plus years, I don't think a year's gone by that I haven't learned something new, some aspect that has changed, developed, created a simpler or more simplistic way of doing an operation or a job task at the facility. I think because we've put in a fill plant and we maintain our own cylinders and we test our own cylinders, we make our own dry ice, we fill our own cylinders, it's been able to give us a little extra niche above because we're able to control our own destiny. That has helped.
Awesome. Every business owner has a success journey, and a lot of times you guys are very blessed to be husband and wife. You can support each other, and I'm sure you have family in there who support you as well. Were there any other people along the way who inspired and encouraged you? What did you learn from them, or how did they provide support?
We just switched computer systems for our store. Our previous computer system, the guy that ran it was amazing. He taught me a lot for as far as accounting. He just was a wealth of knowledge and really I mean, from the ground up, he's been amazing, big help.
Yeah.
We were with him for probably 28 out of the 30 years, actually 30 out of the 30 years. We just switched computers.
Yeah.
So he was a huge help to both Leslie and I. I'll just say his name. It's Barry Weir from Weir and Associates. He's getting ready to retire, which was one of our decisions also. We kind of came to a mutual agreement. But he has been exponential, if I said that right, in Leslie's growth and my own growth. He's quite a bit older, so he's been in the industry probably 50 years and has a wealth of knowledge that's going to be missed. So that would be one really, really good mentor in this industry for us.
Yeah. Yes, that's awesome. Looking back, hindsight's always perfect in your journey. Is there anything that you might have done differently, having the knowledge you have now, looking back, just along your path? Is there anything you would have done differently?
There are some things that we would have liked to have been able to do differently, not necessarily a choice, but it still ended up being good. We had to move away for a while, and it gave us experiences that we wouldn't have had normally. So it turned out to be good, but if we, that wasn't a choice. If we had a choice, for me, no. You take it day to day. You don't really think about it and what you have to do. We've loved having family there. We have family members that work with us. We've met some great people. You don't want to change those things.
Yeah, of course.
I think I would do that. I mean, there's always, I shouldn't say that. There's always something you can change. There's always something you can do different. But if you knew that now, then back then it would be easier. So going through those times and going through some of the trials and tribulations is what allows you to get to where you're going. Because if you don't have hardship, or if you don't have difficulty, or if you don't make mistakes, you're not going to learn, and you're not going to grow, and you're not going to move forward. So you kind of have to have in a weird way, you got to have the mistakes in order to push forward so that you can learn from them.
Changes are where you learn.
Definitely. Yeah. Well, that leads into a question that's a few levels down, but I think it's appropriate to hit that now. So what were some challenges that you had to overcome as you grew? Tell us about those.
The lack of knowledge for me.
Yeah.
Because other than the accounting that I do at home with paying bills, I had no background in it. And I didn't know the industry. That was a huge challenge. And for some things I still don't know, but doing inventory a few times, you learn a little bit of product. If you hear what something is, you could go find it on a shelf. What the application would be, I would have no idea. So it's just something that was never familiar to me. And that's a huge challenge for as far as the industry and the accounting part.
Yeah.
We had to literally start from the ground up.
For me, one of the biggest challenges is employees.
Definitely.
The employee workforce today is extremely different.
Sorry, I didn't quite say that one more time.
Workforce.
Yes.
Employee workforce. I took a class several years ago in San Diego. It's called GATA, Gas and Welding Distributor Association. All the people meet together. It was a father and daughter team on generational gaps, and it was absolutely incredible. Yeah. Traditional baby boomers, Generation X, Generation Y, millennials, and Z, and how the hurdles of the transition between the generations to work together. It helped me a lot to understand, but I'm still, it's a different workforce now, and you have to have that generation working with that workforce.
Yeah.
Or it makes it even more difficult.
Wow. Were there some things that you learned on how to bring those people together? Because you guys have a team that you work with. You have a team of employees who all work together. And so were there some things that you learned on how to help them to work more efficiently and together?
That's something that we're still working on daily.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah.
I think what we found so far is if you get a young person, man or woman, to be the leader, you have to find the tip of the spear. Once you find the tip of the spear, then that person is the leading role. Then that person becomes the go-to person. They come to us and we initiate projects and things that we want to do. They may look and say, hey, you can tweak it this way and make it better, or I don't understand, you have to show me. And then they implement it with the group. Because for us to implement it, we get a lot of friction and pushback. And it's just the generational gap. And I mean that from the 30 and below, not so much 30, but below 30. It's just a different group. They're very, I'm just going to say it, it's the most sensitive workforce I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
And in doing so, you just have to work through it.
Yeah.
And we are. All of our workforce, 80% of our workforce is 30 and below. We are extremely lucky.
Yeah.
At least 80% of the workforce is 50 and above, and they're looking at people retiring and they're looking at losing a lot of people. They just haven't hit what we've already hit here in California, but it's coming.
Yeah, definitely. So you guys have really, you've grown a lot in your leadership and identifying leadership in your organization. That's huge. That's really awesome. And then
extremely important.
Yeah. What were some key pivotal moments in your business that brought you greater success? Looking back, were there some times that you could see that you had a slight pivot or you made a decision that really led you in a direction that produced even more growth? Do you have anything you can recall?
Pivots all the time in order to make us grow. I try to get them to stop so we can get caught up, but there's constant changes within the industry. I mean, we just opened our third store. We're very blessed.
Wow.
It's in a great area that's going to do us well. Like you said, we put in a fill plant a couple years ago. We have dry ice machines. We have all this new equipment that we've been able to be more self-sufficient. I mean, it's a constant growth and change. He's constantly pivoting and I'm trying to get him to stop, but it's a good thing. It's a good thing.
To enhance on what she was saying exactly is, Leslie's the accountant, she does the books, and I understand the money wise, but in the growth aspect, for a great example, we pump helium, and they used to let us transfill the tube trailer down, and then we would send it back. They would give us credit on the balance, and we would return it. Well, now they don't want to do that. So you're looking at $20,000 worth of helium that they're saying you have to eat. And so so how do you fix that? You got to buy a pump, and you got to get the compressor that runs the pump to pump the tube trailer down to get all the product out. I didn't expect that to happen. That was not an expenditure that was on the books to do. But what do? Do you lose 20,000, or do you spend 10 to get the 20 and then you don't lose that from now on? It's kind of a short analogy of it. You've got to get the pump in there. And that's what kind of happens in the industry as we grow. We need pieces of equipment to continue to move forward. And then of course that forces more growth.
Yes.
Yeah.
Tell me about a recent success story, or just maybe something that comes to mind where you felt like you made a real difference for a customer or a client of yours. Is there anything that stands out?
Yeah, I'll share one with you.
Yeah.
I actually have it written down, and I put it on the wall for the company for everybody to see.
Oh, awesome.
This guy came in with his wife, and he was an older guy. And he came in, he spent the time, and he was taken care of, and he left. And he came back 2 days later with a typed on a typewriter, a letter, a note. Now, I'm probably not doing it justice, but it's hanging on the wall where all my employees come in every morning and they have to walk by it and they see it. But I'll do my best to recite what he said. And I'm just going to make up a name because I can't remember. His name was Gerald or something. He says, "Hi, my name is Gerald." He says, this company doesn't know me from Adam. And he says, immediately when I drove in, I was greeted by the bay door. Hello, how are you? And then he said, when I came in, he says, my need was so small, but they made me feel like I was the biggest customer that they had. And he says, my need was so small. My wife, needed water or whatever. And they brought her in. She had to use the restroom. And he says that they took care of all my needs. They talked me through it. He says, I really felt like I was their biggest customer. And again, I'm not doing it justice. The way he wrote it was really nice. He goes, I don't do Yelp, so I'm writing this letter. And he goes, I had an old beat up bottle and they gave me one that was like brand new. And they sent me on my way. And he says, I have not seen the level of service like this in a long time. And he says, it made me really happy to see that this level of service still existed. Wow. And that one hit home for me because it was just a random guy and I wasn't even there. All the people working together in conjunction made this one guy feel so important that he took his time to write this letter and sign it and bring it in and say, I just want to let you guys know how I feel because I don't do Yelp,
Yeah.
And I hung it up and put it on because it was pretty impressive. I thought this is what these guys need to see to understand that the little things that they do, good morning, hello, how are you? Take the time to fix his problem and solve his problem or help him with his need. So that was one that kind of tickled me. I mean, there's been others where we help people out in a bind. If they run out of product and we're able to respond quicker, which is why we're in business. Because if the majors could do what we did, we wouldn't be in business.
Yes.
That's the bottom line. We don't have product pricing, we have service. That's it. We are a service-oriented industry.
Yes. I think that's key. One of the questions that I normally ask more towards the end is what sets you apart, but you've just answered that. And it really is key. All businesses have goods and services, but your larger corporations, you're most likely going to be calling an 800 number. You're going to be on hold. You're never going to speak to the same person twice. This is why I love small business. And this is why I love small businesses like you guys, because we do have the opportunity to shine like that and make people feel important. And so
use the term for the gold country. I love using the term because we live in gold country. We operate at the bottom of the mine. We make a living on the tailings because everything that they miss, we pick up and run with it, and we do very well.
I love
and
that.
they don't care. They're just too small for them.
Yes.
It's out of their wheelhouse.
Yeah.
And that's fine. We'll take all that stuff and run with it all day long.
Wow. I love it. So in our entrepreneurial journey, we start at one point and we're one type of person. I mean, our core personality doesn't really change, but as we go through, our business grows, we work with lots of people and we have all these experiences. A lot of times we get some personal growth from that, or we gain wisdom. How would you say your journey has changed you for the better? Is there anything that you can think of that has helped you become better as a person, personally? I know for me, I can share
when you
that.
do the same thing for so many years, it's hard to keep growing. I mean, you learn new things every day, which can be fun, but sometimes it's the same thing every day. So
yeah.
For me, being able to provide for my family and being able to have the opportunity to bring family members in if I need to make a living and to support their families, that would be a growth for me.
Mm-hmm.
A growth for me would be, and that wasn't really a growth, but yeah, my thing is being able to help other people. So when you have employees, you can't get too close, but they are also instantly in a network of people that you have to assist, because they themselves, they get in a bind, or they have an issue, or they have a trouble. That becomes your trouble. What's very
Yes.
difficult is how far do you allow that trouble in to your personal life? And you have to be, that is a little double-edged sword. You have to be very careful.
Yes.
We have helped many, many people in our lifetime, both financially, mentally, and physically.
Mhm.
And I'm okay with that.
Mhm.
I can sleep well knowing that I made a difference in someone. And some of those people aren't even with us anymore. And I'm okay with that. They
Mhm.
traveled on to maybe bigger and better things, or they didn't.
Mhm.
That was their choice. It was our choice to help them. So they made the choice to either use it and move forward and move it forward and go on to bigger and better things, or go backwards. Majority of them went forward. Very little in 30 years went backwards, but you can't help everybody. So in
Yeah.
that case, that's what I don't know if that answered your question kind of, but that's what I have, was being able to assist and help people in life and
Yeah.
find a niche in the industry. It's helped me for 30 years. Took care of my family.
Yes. Well, it leads into another question I think it's important to talk about, because a lot of business owners struggle with this, the topic of hiring the right people.
Oof.
What kind of wisdom have you guys acquired in that process? Because that's an important part of your business, is having that support team. What have you learned through that process, besides what you've just shared, having the
Not
opportunity to help
hiring
people?
family members of current employees.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have siblings that get in a fight in the yard, and you have to
Oh.
let one go, or
Wow.
we have a father-daughter team who are both amazing people, but
They
the
both
dad
travel.
they travel together. And
So
so when one left, we thought we were going to lose both. So we've
Mm.
kind of made it a new rule not to hire family members of employees.
Well, even
Yeah.
vacation time, they would both go at the same time. So
Oh,
instead of
yeah.
losing one person, you lose two.
Yeah.
But we have two brothers. Those aren't fighting. They get
They're
along
not the
fine.
fighting ones.
Yeah. But we had two brothers, and they work really hard. But when they get together and they go with their dad on a fishing trip or a hunting trip, they both
They're
go.
both gone.
So we
Yeah.
lose two instead of just one. So we've really narrowed that down and thought, okay, let's just keep it to single people. So, single, no family members
Yeah.
except for our own. And, if you want to hire your family member, start your own business and spend a lot of time and money, then you can. But in the meantime, we're not going to do that. And you're right. That's one that we really have to watch out for,
Yeah.
because that can come back and bite you.
Yeah. Definitely. Okay, well, we're almost done here, but I wanted to make sure that we didn't miss anything. Was there anything that we haven't covered that you'd like to share about your business, about your journey?
Yeah.
Pearls of wisdom, golden nuggets.
Well, I was just going to say, we've had some changes throughout the years, and originally there were 3 partners, and now there are 2. And there are challenges with those things, but it comes with extra wisdom and knowledge. Our Aaron's other partner, Mike Hamilton, he's got his strengths, Aaron has his strengths, and between the 2 of them, they make a great team. They've been able to build the business together and done wonders. It comes with its challenges, but together they do great, and they continue to grow. Every year is a new challenge and new dreams and that kind of thing. But it works, So it's not just us, we have partners and all the employees that Aaron and Mike feel responsible for too. Their families, making sure that the business is successful, so that these people can go home at night and relax and have a great time with their family and not have to worry that they'll have a job tomorrow. We were blessed. We made it through COVID. Very lucky that way. We didn't have to lose any employees. We kept going.
Yeah, we kept everybody.
Yeah, we were able to keep everybody, which felt really good,
Good.
you know, so.
Yeah.
Does this blog go out to quite a few people, or is it going to go out to quite a few people, or you don't
Yes.
know?
No, it's going to go out to at minimum 300 people, and that's of just people
In the local
in
area?
in my contact list, but I'm also going to be sharing it with my broader audience on LinkedIn, which is it's almost 4,000 contacts.
And
So.
I want to share something with you because that way it might get out to someone that might need this. So
Yes.
I was 28 and a man by the name of Bob Irwin was a 33-year retired PG&E guy. And he came to my store and saw that I was busy with the Lincoln rep, who I sell Lincoln welders. And he was the neighbor. And the Lincoln rep said, "Come on, Bob, we're going to go see this kid working." Well, anyways, long story short, Bob asked me if I needed help. I said, "I can't afford it." He said, "That's not what I asked." He said, I said, "Bob, I can't afford to pay." He said, "That's not what I asked. Do you need help?" I said, "Yes." He says, "What?" I says, "I'll be here on Monday." It was Friday. Bob drove up from Tracy for 6 months every day for free, answered the phones, ordered my parts. I got in the truck and delivered and made sales calls. I had a girl in the office and it was me and Bob. And we started that first business and I hustled. After 6 months, he says, "Aaron," he says, "the fuel is kind of getting a bit much." I said, "Bob, here's a credit card. I can cover your fuel." And I went out another 6 months, hustled. And at the end, I was able to build the business enough to hire him and pay him. He stayed with me for 5 years. He said, "I'll stay with you as long as you want me." He stayed with me for 5 years. And then his children moved back east. And that's when he said, "I'm going to, go with my grandchildren."
Mm-hmm.
I am going to pay that forward to somebody in any business.
Mm-hmm.
So in a few years, when I get ready to retire, if somebody remembers this, they're more than welcome to have my name. If they're starting a business or if they need help, I will be doing this for somebody, male or female, I don't care. So I will be paying that forward.
Yeah. Oh, that's huge, Aaron. I'll definitely be putting that in the description as well when I promote this. Thank you. I had one more question, but I think you've already answered it. Thank you so much for your service to your community, to your employees, your leadership, your kindness. I'm getting all teary. I haven't done this in any of the interviews, and this is just
all right.
Gosh, but service, that's what this is about, and serving with kindness, serving with excellence, and you guys have just far exceeded that. What's the best way that people can reach you? Your website, phone number? Feel free to
You
give
can,
that.
you can call the office at 916-374-0771 and ask for Aaron Senior or Leslie Beckley, because my son works there. So you'd have to ask for Aaron Senior to specify. And, or if you want to talk to my son, he can tell you what it's like working with his dad for the last 10 years. Both goods and bads, because he will tell you.
You gotta have a little time on your hands, though.
Yeah.
He's a
Yes.
Given enough time, he'll get a tree to talk back. So then contact me anytime if anybody had any questions. I have no problem. I love helping people, maybe making their situation a little bit less burdensome. And if you can do that with a 10-minute conversation of, "Hey, we did that and it miserably failed. Here's how we ended up doing it and it worked great. Oh man, you just saved me a ton of time and a ton of money." And I've done that my whole life. I call guys regularly.
Yes.
"Hey, I'm running into this problem. Before I get too messed up, how do I fix it?" And they'll, "Here's how we did it." And we actually have a networking group called the Trend Leaders, 24 members, New York, California, Canada, Mexico. And we get together twice a year and how to better our businesses. If you can put something like that together, I would highly recommend it. Even a small group. We have our small group.
Have one for women.
Yeah, there you go. A networking group is incredible.
Yes.
That's one of the keys to my success, is being able to talk to other people, men and women, on how do you better your business? How do you handle this situation? How do you fix this? People. insurance, trucks,
Mhm.
all those things.
Yes. That's fantastic. That's almost like a mastermind part of networking.
Yep.
Yeah. Extremely
And
valuable.
if I were to say that to any young person out there, networking to me is number one.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're the networking
She
queen,
has
man.
one.
You're all over it.
Our grandkids have gotten in the way.
Yeah. Yeah. Otherwise, Leslie would have been there, but in the way. Literally, they're on her feet every morning. So.
Yeah. Oh, goodness. Okay. Well, if there's not anything else that you guys wanted to share, I'll go ahead and stop the recording.
Okay.
Good.
Toodaloo.
Good.
All right.